maybe my dictionary is not correct. Those police cells, is that not a place of torture? That's a big question that we need to ask ourselves, because automatically mean in a civilized country, if you torture someone before taking him to court, he may just the integrity of that case may be seriously affected. We should that the police cell, it should be like if it cannot be like maybe 5-star and maybe like 2-star, the police cell, let them just may not the place that I know I can still recollect the experience. I have 3 days. I was I think it was 2001 or other year 2000 or 2001. I spent 3 days in Lion Building cell, and I will never pray that my enemy should even visit that very place, because we're there, and when nature call, people, you will see the other suspect doing what he's supposed to do with the smelling, and so it's just, and to me, if the act say torture should not be found among police during investigation or within this when you're keeping a suspect, then maybe tomorrow someone can come out and say I'm not correct. Almost all the police cell in Nigeria, they're a place of torture. So and we just have to obey that very act, because that is your law, that is your code of conduct. It's just a message for the police authority. I remember that the show is the safety, security, and the people's right. Today we will be looking at what it concerns every one of us, because here we are at VOP. We're on a shelter, from house through a shelter, everywhere, and that's the reason we want to look at. We do have a lot of building collapse. Sometimes investigation will be on, and the authority will say, oh, they will make sure that people will be brought to book, and I'll be looking for that book. Let me know how the number of cases that are still in that very, very book. So today we'll be looking at issue relating to how do we check building collapse, or how do we look at safety and security on and off construction site in Nigeria. Anytime you see construction going on, there are a lot of things that will be going on there. In civilized country, is it how a construction site used to be? And joining us with us live on the studio is no other person than a very, very wonderful, distinguished architect. And I know it's going to be yes or yes. Will be at least, I know that it's very, very busy, but I know for the service to our fatherland, so I will be having you at least once in a month, at least out of your busy. Go want to see on VOP, want to stop building collapse in Nigeria. Is that a yes or yes, sir?
We'll give it a thought. Well, thank you for having me today.
Okay, joining us is no other person than architect Oluwole Rotimi. Yes, architect Oluwole Rotimi. There was a time I was trying to, during my university, I make effort to say, okay, let me go and do architect. They now say, the architect, instead of 4 years course, we have to go straight.
7 years.
7 years. And I said, now only law and mercy that now with the tale say the years long. No, the architect is straight. 4 years. That time, person don't graduate, you won't start another degree self.
Well, in my time, it was straight 5 years.
Straight 5 years.
Straight 5 years, yes.
Now, wow. What do you know they do?
Oh, so many things. But it's a very deep and comprehensive training.
Okay.
So it takes time. And again, coming back to what you're about to discuss, because it's a profession that carries a lot of responsibility for public safety, for social well-being. So the training is deep and intense. And
you have to be consistent so that you know that you have a break.
Yes.
Okay, maybe when someone finishes straight to master
yes,
level.
Up to master's degree.
Wow,
yes.
Wow. That's a wonderful one. That's a wonderful one. But let me start off studio. We're having a conversation. Let me start this way. If you go to Lagos Island during those Jankara, it's like it could be that my house is number 3, Anifoshe Street. Then the other person, my neighbor, has number 2 or number 4. I fit eat for my parlour and open fridge in the other room, in other house, and take water. Then go to number 4. No, I mean number 3. So number 2, number 4 put me in the middle. So I'll go to the other house to go and wash my hand. What I mean, is body touch body, building body touch body.
I get what you mean. Now, you see, Lagos Island, if you look back, Lagos Island was a small place. Circumstantially, it became a commercial nerve center for Lagos, right from the colonial days. So you have markets, the port was close by. So most of the commerce that was happening in Lagos then took place on Lagos Island. So it has brought a lot of people there. However, the indigenes, they were not so many, but they were sitting on a small piece of land. So land title in Lagos, family land holdings in Lagos are not in large areas of land. They are usually little.
So some even less than a plot.
I mean, in those days, a plot of land was maybe 50 by 100. And even in central Lagos, you didn't have land of 50 by 100. So, but now, things have, with social mobility, upper social mobility, economic advancement, and all that. Even the indigenes, a lot of them, the landowners, the property owners, they are no longer living there. But because it is valuable land, it is still given out for commercial purpose, businesses, traders, everything happens on Lagos Island. So there's a need to take another look at Lagos Island now and think of the urban redevelopment of Lagos Island. Yes, it is necessary. Otherwise,
fight go there.
There won't be any fight.
Some people will say this is my ancestral home.
Sure.
And then how are you going to see my sister here? They have their own ancestral home, maybe less than a plot. Our own ancestral home, less than a plot. Your own ancestral home. Are we going to? It's as if it's the first solution.
No. For every human problem, there is a solution. You only need to apply yourself to it and think about what the solution is. And when you are looking for a solution, you look for a win-win solution. Don't look for a solution that favors somebody against the other person. Now, we have, because of the land value, the value of property that people are now trying to put on those little pieces of land is high. You see them doing high-rise structures. And so that they can get the most in terms of returns. But it's not giving the quality of environment that you want to have. Don't forget, Lagos Island has become the central business district of Lagos. That's the CBD of Lagos. So why don't you find a way that can encourage landowners to come together and team up to develop, so that little portions of land, we can come together, 5 or 6 landholding families, put our land together, find a joint venture arrangement to develop that land. So you have a piece of it, I have a piece of it, the other person have a piece of it. You may not have the resources, the finance, then you can bring in a developer to do it, and you have the necessary legal framework to do it. Today, the owners of the land, in quotes, are great or great-great-grandchildren of the original owners of the land. They have the title. So by the time you look down 3, 4, 5 generations, who are the owners of the land? They are like 50, 100.
Yes, the other day, one of my friends said they collected rent from their ancestral home and they gave him 1,500 as his own share.
Yes. Anyway, how much was the rent that was collected? Probably 1 million. There are now many. A lot of them are not living there again. They are living, the first set of Lagosians came to Surulere. A lot of them are now living in Ikorodu, where land is available for them to live the quality of life they now want to live. Don't forget that they are no longer indigent as their parents were. A lot of them have moved off socially. In in terms of education, social.
Some people travel abroad.
Fine. So let's even keep it here. They are here. Social advancement. Some of them they are owners of big businesses. They are corporate. Do you want the man to go and live inside the Lagos Island where he's living in one room? No. He has now moved away, but he still has. That place has value. So why don't you come together and develop something that is of value that will give you good returns? Secondly, it affords government the opportunity to put in the infrastructure that befits a central business district in terms of waste disposal, sewage management, power supply, water supply, and the development that comes there will pay for it, and it's a win-win for everybody. But don't deprive people of what they have in the name of urban renewal or urban redevelopment, and then government takes the land and takes. That's why you have all that, and then don't be complacent. We have ceded some of our powers to government to manage society for us. So they need to be up to task, but create the legal framework, and it will happen. It has been done in other climes, and I believe it can be done here.
Okay, let's come to why building. I was just thinking one day that at least if building can be coming down anyhow, it should not be places like Ikoyi, VI, those rich men places like Akute, like my place I call it Plantain Island. That is Ejigbo. But many times you see Ikoyi high-rise building coming down. Those guys has money. So what is actually responsible for? Even I think the one in Ikoyi then was still on construction. Construction was going on.
And then in that process you are passing down knowledge, and you are defining what you want to achieve in the course of that event. So let's come back to building. So the bane, the problem, the missing link that is responsible for building collapse is the absence of building inspection.
Because that's why you are saying that people will not do what you expect, but they will do what you expect
them to build according to this. But some of them don't know. Some of them want to cut corners. Some of them even know, but hey, this material is too expensive. Rather than use so many in your mix, do this. They will want to cut corners. No, some people will tell you, don't worry, nothing will happen. I did this, I did that. But where a particular, just for the sake of discussion, where a particular kind of mix of concrete can do in one kind of building, it may not do in another kind of building. Where a particular kind of foundation will be okay here, it may not be okay in another location. So there is a process. But before we go into the process, the first thing we need to accept and deal with is the fact that there must be inspection. It is the inspector that will make sure that whoever is working there is doing the right thing. So there has to be a process, a schedule that encourages, and in fact, that enforces inspection, not even encourage. It is mandatory that there must be building inspection. Now, how do you do it? The responsibility falls on government, yes, but the government doesn't have to do it alone because they don't have the capacity. They cannot even muster the capacity. So you now have to depend on professionals in the industry who you can hold responsible for what happens. Take, for example, I give company A the responsibility of taking charge of building inspection in this locality or this neighborhood. So I pass on to them the buildings that have been permitted in that place. We'll come to building permits later, but let's just say building that has been permitted. So the man has the name of the developer, he has the address of the development, he has the approved drawings for the development. So you now have stage certification, stage inspection, where this man must sign off a go or no go decision. Yes, you can go. I know you have to stop and do this. That's when you begin to talk of violation and stuff like that. But when that no go inspection is there, so before you can proceed to the next stage, I must give you a certificate. So when something goes wrong, before you even start chasing the developer, you chase the inspector. His license to inspect, his certificate, his livelihood, his entire career comes on the line.
Because the one is as if he was not watching what was going on.
You can now come back to, okay, I permitted you to go beyond this stage, but you went beyond it. I permitted you to cross this stage, but you didn't call me when you were going to do this. Then you may begin to exonerate him. And then, but apart from calling you and all that, there should be what I call patrols, for want of a better word, where people you are aware of what is going on. So before people violate. You see, in risk management, you look at risk avoidance, risk mitigation, risk acceptance. There are certain situations where you accept certain risks because you can't do anything about it. You just hope for the best. But best thing is avoid risk, and where you can't totally avoid, you mitigate. So the building inspection is part of risk mitigation strategy that government brings into place to make sure that these things, at least that people are doing the right thing.
Maybe that's the reason Lagos State have a building control agency.
Yes, but the Lagos State Building Control Agency, I'm sorry to say, what they do most is just come demolish buildings. You see, Lagos State, they should look beyond Naira and Kobo in their quest to manage the building development space. There's so much emphasis on penalties, building demolition, blaming people for non-compliance. But what about all the bottlenecks that even the system?
What are those, some of those bottlenecks? We know the authority are listening. What are those bottlenecks? Okay. State building control, Ogun State building control, or your state building control, Edo State building control are put in place, then the issue of building coming down anyhow will be reduced. Okay,
let me go back a bit. How much building inspection does Lagos State Building Control Agency do?
Sometimes they will go and you see seal.
That's not inspection. Okay. That's not inspection. You see, you must first encourage people to build. You see, you want to bottle up aspiration by just sealing, stopping them from. No. People have aspiration. You must know that. Beyond the technical thing that they are building, why are they building? To own a building is part of your pillars that you measure your success in life. Everybody has aspiration. Everybody wants to own a building. Don't bottle up that aspiration. By putting so much hurdles in that process, you are bottling up aspiration. And then you now come back and say, because you don't have the capacity to inspect anyway, before you get there, they have done what they want to do. And then you are coming to demolish. What are we doing to ourselves by demolition? We are destroying wealth.
Everybody committed an infraction.
Why do they come? You see, we look at our citizens as if we are all criminals. No, we are not. As if we are all not, we want to disobey the law. No, I don't agree. I believe, open up the space. Make it easy. First, make it easy for people to get permits. Building permit. Make it easy.
Is it not easy
It's
now?
not. It is
Why
not.
do you say so? What is it?
To get building permits, how many agencies do you need to go through? You submit a drawing, for example, for building permit. And then there's what is called before you pay assessment and all that, which is fees to government, you submit the drawing. They vet it. They call it the vetting process. And I'm an architect, so I can talk but I've been in practice for a long time, so I know what goes on. And then the whoever there says that, oh, I provided, I should give him that my drawing does not have a door and window schedule. And I ask myself, what's your business with door and window schedule? What exactly is the business of the planning office with door and window schedule in the drawing? What should concern you are things that is this building habitable if it is built? So if I give you door and window schedule, I can say, okay, right now I've recommended louver windows. By the time the owner is finishing, he's now more affluent, he wants to use aluminium windows. Will he come back to you to get permit to put aluminium windows? Those are unnecessary things. Look out for the most important things. One, respect for the airspace. That is distance between the building and the property line and the road and the next building.
Or the Christian center. And
No,
the rest of it.
let's even just keep it to
Okay.
a one-holder
Okay.
family, one plot of land.
Okay.
Look at the fact that this building, as designed, is going to meet all the airspace standards. One. Look out for the fact that the interior spaces as planned are habitable. Because you must also consider the public health implication of living in that house. What do I mean by public health? If they don't have the right number or kind of conveniences and people begin to fall sick, they'll put pressure on your hospital system. People are falling sick. They are less productive. So your GDP falls. Look out for those things. In my early days as an architect, we used to have we used to apply for, if you want to do a development, you apply for what we call planning information. When you apply for planning information, what do? You submit the survey plan of the land, submit the design proposal, you send it to the planning office, pay a fee. Somebody looks at it, gets back to you with a letter that says, we received your application, this and this and these are okay, this you need to correct this. You make the correction, you send it back, they look at it. Once they give you the clear that yes, this building is buildable, is approvable. We used to call it then approval in principle. It's not approval. We call it approval in principle. When you bring back that development for final planning permit, along with the what you used to apply for planning information and the response that they gave you, once it has met it, it's approved. That is how you ease the process. Now, what do we have? When you have issues of building collapse, what does government do? They put more layers of bureaucracy on the process and make it more difficult for you to do. And you don't unleash the entrepreneurship and the ability for people to work and create wealth. And then we are complaining of unemployment. Then you can do, we also need to be, we need to respond to the reality of our society, our environment today. Not many people have the kind of money that government is asking you to pay as assessment. I'm sorry to say it on the air. And you ask somebody to pay 400,000, 1 million as assessment.
And the person have 1 million naira.
How many people can drop 1 million at a time? You look at, you want to do this structure is of this size, blah, 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 blah. The assessment is 2 million. Okay, fine. But can you break it down? I'm not saying don't collect your 2 million because you plan your revenue. But break it down. Use it to control the stage certification.
Okay.
Pay so much now.
Foundation
will allow you to develop to this stage. You can't go beyond that until you come back. And then you pay this and you get to this stage. So people will be willing to go ahead, to approach you. Not a situation whereby you submit a drawing for planning approval and you don't get approval in 4 years. In 5 years. Yes. I've done it.
You don't get that. I don't chop the money now.
4 years. No, That is
Now,
why.
I mean, the money I want to, the money that I save for the building, if I didn't get, and I cannot start without the approval.
Wait. That is why people circumvent the system. Don't forget I mentioned something about aspiration. Somebody wants to build a house. He has 2 million saved. He knows that 2 million cannot finish the house, but he wants to start. Then you now put that bottleneck. He will try and he will find a workaround.
But they go touch body.
Whatever. Whatever. But we find a workaround because he wants to realize that goal, that dream. But if you allow him to continue, okay, pay small, people in commerce do it now. They say you want to buy this television, come to our office, you pay small, we'll give it to you. What are they doing? They're encouraging you to buy.
My in-law in US, he just told me he bought a car and he's going to pay for 5 years. But Nigeria, you need to cash the money.
Yeah.
Even the one you
Well,
go dash
that's-
small people.
Yeah, you
people
see, that's
get-
another discussion. That's a discussion for another day. And that
No, I'm taking it to when you
Yes.
only pay for, you want to pay the entire money before you start.
that affects the entire economy. And that's one of the things that drive. Okay, let's leave the issue of corruption. Let's just forget about that. People need money. There's pressure for housing. There's pressure for accommodation in a city like Lagos. Apart from even the aspirational drive that I want to own a house, people need houses to stay. How many houses? I mean, I don't have the data now, but if you Google the data, you see the housing shortage. But who's doing anything about it? There's a lot of money sitting in the banks that can be used to catalyze this economy. If there's access to credit and stuff like that, and you have how you profile people to. So
So why is it that maybe the reason why building continue to come down in Nigeria, people are not paying serious compensation because you say building collide, you go hear maybe 10 people die, 5 people die, 3 people die. Oh, say well, thank God it is not me, and may their soul rest in peace. The family will go there, collect their dead body and go and bury. That is the rent. The developer, whoever that did not do what he's supposed to do, there is no consequence for some of those actions.
So who is in charge of law enforcement? It's government that's in charge of law enforcement. That is, a building has collapsed, so there is a felony. So if you don't deal with it, at point A, you don't deal with it at point B, Mr. C will believe that he can get away with it. Just know the right people. So you see, law enforcement is another thing entirely. It affects the entire gamut of the country. Every field, every profession, everywhere, law enforcement is necessary. We need the law. Without the law, society breaks down. But the law should be enforced in a manner that is equitable, that is justiciable. You can see that is equitable. It's law enforcement. Those laws that the laws are there, they are not being enforced. That a building collapses at all, who are the people working on it? You don't touch them. You just go there, you harass the developer, you want to confiscate the land. That's not the solution. It shows what value we place on human lives. Because a building that collapses is a huge loss to the entire economy. Apart from even the loss of lives, it's a huge loss to the entire economy. If you imagine what would have happened if that building completes, I mean, it's finished, and the service it provides, the convenience it's going to provide. We are talking about accommodation for businesses, for human habitation, and then money that's being generated that goes into different other areas of the economy. So when a building collapses, irrespective of whose money directly goes down the drain, is a loss to the entire economy. So we should not allow it to happen at all.
Now let's look at our law. I know the time that synagogue, then people die, And there was even an invitation then that some people should come to the court. They just decide which model, where do we copy some of those whereby a court with someone me. If they call someone me now, I will not be sleeping. Because before you know what's happening, police or security is going to bundle me from my house. But there are some people, though they say there's nobody that's above the law, it's like we are deceiving ourselves because there are some people that they are far above the law, that you summon them, they just tell you you're on your own.
Again, that's a which you see, we wink at impunity. Here, we wink at impunity. It's unfortunate, but that's what we do. It's like, no, forget it.
I will talk to someone.
But it is because Mr. A has been able to get away with it. Mr. B has been able to. How did you do it? I spoke to this, and then we wink at impunity. In a place where, that's why I said, the first thing to deal with, if we want to, I mean, this is now going outside the issue of building, but the first thing to deal with is law enforcement.
But we have a law enforcement agency, we have police, we have just name them.
Again, the police is how do I put it? The police is, the police to population ratio is abysmal in Nigeria. That's one. Two, the police. What do we do to their welfare? You see, the police job should be a job that when somebody has, he does not want to lose. It's a job that a man should have or a woman should have and does not want to lose. That is, your wife will tell you that, boy, don't do anything that they will sack you from this job, because the benefits from it, legal benefits, are so much that you don't want to lose that job. You will do it well. But where the policeman's pay is not even enough to take care of him, talk less of take care of his family.
But me, I like police job because if I'm a police now, if I'm a police now, anytime I broke, which I do season, just carry 2 of us. You have to carry gun, put them, go to maybe Anthony, coming to Oshodi, everybody stop.
That is not police.
And the survivor, there are some that it is the family that will not be looking for money to treat them at the hospital. Some it is, in fact, they are on their city. But what of a situation whereby I want to start a building? I call my imam, I call my pastor, I call my head of my priest of my shira in my village. Yeah. They bless the building, and by the blood of Jesus or any name, then I can continue my.
It's okay, but that is not an insurance. That is to satisfy your spiritual beliefs and spiritual comfort. Don't forget that if you call your imam, if you are a Muslim, the bricklayer that is coming to work may be a traditional Shango worshipper. He doesn't believe in Muhammad. Neither does he believe in Jesus Christ. And it may even be that your contractor is a Christian. So everybody with his own beliefs. I don't have any problem with that. And we shouldn't even get involved in that. What government should get involved in, what the society, what the system, what the legal system should be interested in, those things that are empirical, that you can hold. So when there is a collapse, the insurance triggers the insurance claim, so that the victims are adequately compensated. Even as little as the guy will be hospitalized, he did not die. But he will be hospitalized. The insurance will kick in.
Wow. Well, thank you for staying to VOP 90.3. We are staying with Architect Oluwole Rotimi, and we are looking at safety and security on or off construction site here in Nigeria. Because when we do it right, we can be going to Canada and teach them how to manage their construction site. Or can't we go to Canada and teach them how to manage their construction site, or US?
Go there and learn how they've been able to manage their own first. Yes.
You can join the conversation or ask a question 0700903903903 or 08171756338. You can join or just ask a question. Ogarutimi is still here with us, and ask your question. I believe they will be able to help us. So we are looking at let's look at whenever there is maybe it is me, whenever construction is going on, I'm seeing a lot of indiscipline in those places. Look at it's like a war zone, some construction site. What can we do to check it?
Okay, again, I'm a realist by nature. I'm a realist, but that's not to say that I'm reckless. So let's look at leave the big construction sites where you have the Julius Bergers of this world and the Kappa and the Battles of this world. Let's look at a smallholder person that wants to build. There are certain things that you, as the public, for public safety, public infrastructure management, there must be that you can and you should enforce. I don't believe that every worker must wear a reflective jacket. That's just playing to the gallery because it costs money. But first is have waste management. Waste, because a lot of waste is generated. Where do the waste end up? It ends up in the gutter, and so have that so that it helps site organization, because once people have where they can dump the waste and ensure that the waste is moved. Loma cannot do it alone. I'm talking of Lagos State now. Loma cannot do it alone. That's why the damage that has been done to the PSP initiative is one of the things that pains me each time I remember. So if you have a neat site, a tidy site, usually is an organized site. Do you get what I mean? A tidy site is usually an organized site. Because I've done a lot of building construction in my time. When the site is tidy, you see what is, and there is less injury. There is less risk of hazard taking place. So if you have that and enforce that, so you want to build, have a dumpster where you put all your waste, and then maybe once a week you pay a PSP come and carry it away. And in fact, the dumpster you hire it from a PSP, you put it there, and then they come and take it away. So all the way, so that way the site is not disorganized. The only days usually when you have the place being rowdy and whatever, maybe the day they want to cast a deck, they want to place concrete, where you bring in lots of people and they work for the period of placing that concrete and go away. Don't forget that we are not an advanced economy where everything is mechanized, and it is this process that puts money in the hands of a lot of people. The day you are casting concrete, you may have up to 50 people on site. All of them will go away. They will go away smiling.
Even the mama
and the food vendors and all that, they will come. So
it can, if we are doing the property, it can generate employment for our citizens.
The building industry is one of the easiest industries through which you can inject money into an economy. The construction industry, especially building, is one of the industries through which you can inject money into the economy, and the money gets into a lot of hands. It does not stay in a few hands. If you imagine on a building, even a small building site, you have bricklayers, you have carpenters, you have iron benders, you have plumbers, you have electricians, and then you have vendors bringing all manner of things.
You have those are equally and say
you also have, I'm not even talking of people that come to beg. Let's talk of people that are in enterprise, that are actually working and contributing money to the economy. You have the people that sell food, And beyond that site that you are seeing, that money goes even further
To
into
the market,
economy.
yeah, they go
into
to
the
do what
market.
they to go and buy building
Yes.
material and the rest of them.
So the building industry is one whereby it's an industry we should not stifle. It's an industry we should encourage to thrive.
We
Because-
should be firm, but we should be very systemic.
Yes, we should be firm because safety is uppermost. It's number one. You don't want to lose lives, and you don't want to lose value.
And you
But-
don't want to destroy people's aspiration of having a house.
No, we shouldn't. You see, our economy now is cash and carry. I recollect that in one of those media appearances of the president when he was campaigning, he spoke about creating access to credit. I'm still looking forward to him actualizing it. Well, it is access to credit that allows people to have money, to access money for mortgage, to construct. And that's when money comes into the hands of developers can now, and then you can manage the emergence of quality environment if we minimize the 1, 2, 3 ABC development, and you have a developer coming to do as 25, 30 years.
Well, we're still having an issue with network, but maybe you can just give it a try again. 08171756338 or 0700903903903. You can just give it a try and ask your question. We don't know whether the network is not having, they don't have fuel. But I need to ask you too, because we don't have much time. What do you think we can do? You are an architect. That there are some filling station I do see in some places that to me is very, very risky. I've been seeing one filling station. They haven't start operation. When you are going to a place, I'm going home now through Ajawo Estate after Eleganza.
They're everywhere.
You see a filling station that is sharing a fence with a window of where people live, and these are volatile content. God forbid bad thing, as we do
They are
say.
everywhere.
So
Now-
what do you think? How do we do to regulate that? Who supervise those filling stations when construction is going on?
First, we've agreed and we've more or less realized that not much supervision is going on. So, but the point is this: you see, what we are discussing today is building safety on and off site.
Yeah.
Safety starts off site.
Okay.
Yeah. Building safety starts off site. By the time you are getting to site, it's already
Everything
becoming
is
too
okay.
late.
Yeah.
It's already becoming too late. So the first thing is, I don't know if the building code has changed, but in the 80s, I know that there's a distance that is permissible between two filling stations on the same road. I think it's about 500 meters or so. So if you have a filling station at point A, the next filling station cannot be anything below 500 meters from that station.
Some filling station, the share fence. So.
No, I'm coming. And then look at you won't see filling stations next to residences. No. So it is what I say when I talk about winking at impunity. Over the years, we have dropped the ball. The government stopped doing what they should do with this thing. So now to want to reverse those things when the harm has been done, there will be a lot of hue and cry, and it's unfair, it's unkind, it's inhumane to now want to destroy people's property. What were you looking at when those things were going on? But I know that in the time of a particular governor in this state, certain developments were halted, and today the owners have found different uses for those developments. But those developments, I know I can readily tell you some, but I don't want to mention. Those developments were halted because they were going to create traffic nuisance. So we can still do it. We can correct those things, those facilities.
So it's not a hopeless situation.
No. But don't come with the sledgehammer all the time. You want to confiscate, you want to destroy, you want to develop and demolish. I mean, let our government not be a demolition government.
Thank you extremely very much for joining us, Architect Oluwarotimi. Oluwole Rotimi. Thank you very much. Someone was asking
welcome.
for your WhatsApp. Is this social? Me I'm James ancestor. People do ask.
No, I'm old school.
Because you're old school. But you're on WhatsApp.
Yes, I'm on WhatsApp.
Okay. Can we have your WhatsApp number?
Yeah, my WhatsApp number is 0810, sorry, 0810 867 8266.
Okay.
0810 867 8266.
Okay, because me, I'm James ancestor. If you ask me for my contact, say, okay, when you reach Kenu, ask where is so bus stop, so bus stop.
No, I'm old school. I admit that.
Thank you very much. As we promised, we want to see how we can stop building collapse in Nigeria. So at least let's look at, maybe even though it's once in, I know that you are extremely busy in and out of Nigeria. Even though if you are not around, we can be joining you through the technology.
The technology has
please, because I know of a couple who died during one of the building collapse. Tomorrow the family is yet to be balanced. Nobody say, oh, let us look for how to even compensate, how to even maybe do something about after a parent has spent a lot of money, risk everything. That was just the end of the whole story. So safety, thank you very much for joining us.
Safety is important all the time.
Okay. My name is Joseph Olosho. By the special grace of God, next week, Wednesday, 1 to 2, is going to be another wonderful day with us. And this is where we look at issues relating to safety, issue relating to security, and your rights. And if we're able to tackle or handle some of all these things, a lot of our brothers and sisters outside this show will be willing to come to this country and come and invest and make our economy to be very, very buoyant. We do hear of people, the country GDP is going up, but my own GDP, I'm trying to make evil stand. Bye-bye for now.